on your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You want answers.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Right smack dab in the middle of the week, a Wednesday edition of Halftime. The meat hooks are going. I got a box score ready to crumple up in an hour. Are you okay with that?
Yes,
SmackDown and Matty T.
Only because I thought about it as our new ASMR portion of Halftime every Wednesday.
Well done. That's right. I'll eat a pickle on the air. The next time we don't want to crumple a box score up. You got to keep your traditions alive, no matter if you've ended a 20-game SEC losing streak or not. So hey, that's why Ty's watching Rocky 2 Friday night, and that's why I'm going to be crumpling this victorious box score up in about an hour as we will put to bed the celebration of the victory against Mississippi State. And I'll be honest, I felt like I put that to bed yesterday. There's only so much talking about what happened a few days ago that you can do when there are bigger visors to fry on Saturday when Arkansas plays against the Auburn Tigers.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there.
I saw. I catch your drift.
More coaches wearing visors than not on the opposing sideline on Saturday?
I don't know about that. I think the better question is how many's going to be wearing ponchos and rain gear and everything else.
Yeah, you're going to have a professional umbrella holder for the head coaches at some point. You see LSU Mizzou has been moved to Columbia officially. They have moved that's the first of potentially 3 games that could have been affected by Hurricane Delta. So LSU Mizzou moved to Columbia, and no longer going to be a night game. They're going to play that at 11 o'clock in the morning. There's reports that the football game New Orleans is supposed to be playing against, I think, Indianapolis with this weekend, and they may be moving that game to Indy. So, yeah, clear out the Gulf Coast, at least, I guess, by Louisiana. We'll see what happens as far as Auburn's concerned. Sounds like some of the Razorbacks are pretty excited about the idea of playing in the muck and the mud. Although that's really the sort of style for me that Auburn would like to play too. This is a team that needs to run the ball in order to have success. You could say that about a lot of teams. Not last week's opponent, not Mississippi State, not a team that's going to run it much, if at all. Auburn's got to run it and has been able to do none of that over the first 2 weeks. And so SmackDown, I kind of wonder, you got a program here that last year averaged 199 yards per game on the ground, 4th best in the SEC. In 2 weeks this season, Auburn against Kentucky and Georgia, 2 good defenses, Georgia may be the best in the conference, averaging just 65 yards per game on the ground. That's second worst in the SEC. And really, they'll use the ground game to open up the passing game. They had to play from behind against Georgia, so Bo Nix was forced to throw it a lot more, I think, than they usually would like to. But this is also a completely rebuilt Auburn offensive line. They lost 4 starters from last year's team that finished 9-4. They only have one of the offensive line starters back, and that's their center, Nick Brahms. But the other 4, and they've gone through a rotation of 7 offensive linemen in the first 2 weeks, and still Gus Malzahn has talked openly with Auburn reporters about, we are not settled right now on the offensive line. We've got to find the 5 guys that fit the best and start to establish that ground game. I think, SmackDown, they expect to get that ground game going Saturday against Arkansas. And if the Hogs have a chance to defeat Auburn for the first time in, 4 years, it's going to come up front defensively, stopping their running game. And we'll worry about how Arkansas scores points later on in the show. You haven't been able to stop Auburn very much in recent years. It starts up front, especially if it's going to be raining and very windy.
Definitely, that's going to be the crucial part of the game. And rush yards allowed right now. Arkansas is allowing 104 yards rushing. Auburn allowing 173. That's going to be the difference in the game because I don't think a lot of maybe not even necessarily just Arkansas fans, but I think a lot of like the national fans, I mean, just followers of football, that Bo Nix could beat you throwing the football. And you saw and maybe that was partly credit to the stout Georgia defense that we saw them a couple days ago. That'll be the interesting part. But if you're able to shut down that rushing attack, one that hasn't done very well so far, like you just said, 65 yards rushing on the year. Arkansas is not much better, though, averaging 70. If you're able to shut that down and force Bo Nix to be a passer, I think you got a pretty good shot at this thing. And when you factor in all the elements that you're going to be doing, it's going to be whoever can run the football the best. It's probably what's going to come down to. And we're going to, next segment, we'll talk about the hurricane track and give you up to date on everything that we know so far. It may be a rainy day. It may be a dry day. But whoever can run the football will win that ball game. And you have to probably think that it's going to be the Razorbacks, I would figure, because you saw a couple times during the Mississippi State game, granted, it's passing the football. Arkansas was able to get a little bit of pressure sometimes on Costello off a three-man rush.
Well, it's going to be a different way of going at the attack in this one because I mean Georgia got ahead of Auburn quickly, so they were able to once they were stopping Auburn's run attack early in the game. It's pretty obvious the only way that the Tigers would be able to move the ball was to pass, and so Georgia was able to quote unquote pin those ears back, go right after the quarterback. You know that they registered only 3 sacks. On the Georgia, if you read the Georgia box score, separate from the Auburn box score, and I guess they've got their own people keeping certain statistics, they pressured Bo Nix 28 times. So he was running for his life practically the entire game. It's not a matter of can he beat you in the air. This is a 5-star quarterback with some arm talent, but you just can't let him sit back in the pocket and pick you apart.
Right. And
it does start with stopping the run and then hopefully being able to generate some pressure when he has to drop back on 3rd and long or 2nd and long. That's where it's going to start. And Arkansas did play very well up front against Mississippi State. Hey, they played well up front against Georgia for the most part.
Yeah.
That's the style of game you're going to see this Saturday. You have to erase what you saw against Mississippi State. I'm not saying you don't need good games from Grant Morgan and Bumper Poole and Joe Fouché and all the guys that did play wonderfully. It's just a different attack that you're facing. So what do you got to do first? You got to stop that run first and foremost. I just have a sense, even with this rebuilt offensive line for Auburn SmackDown, they're still big dudes. Like every last one of them is 315 to 330 pounds. I don't know if this is quite as talented of an offensive line as Auburn's had in the last decade or so. I mean, they got a transfer from Akron, from the University of Akron, who was a 2-star prospect, just a couple of 4-star prospects on that offensive line, and a team and a group of guys that has not played together for an appreciable amount of time and are not very experienced in playing against SEC teams. So I don't think this is the sort of offensive line that we've seen from Auburn recently where they can just line up and overpower Arkansas on sheer size and strength. But I think they're still going to try that. That's still going to be the plan of attack in that first quarter to see if they can establish the ground game.
You can't beat size sometimes. I mean, sometimes just size will win you ball games just like that, and size will win you battles in the offensive line. I don't think is it fair to say that the Hawks may have the more experienced defensive line? Maybe not to compare the two. More experience. Let me rephrase that. Razorbacks are probably more experienced versus Auburn's offensive line versus their defensive line, that they can maybe not necessarily create some mismatches, but be creative in their blitz packages that they could do to maybe try to confuse what you just labeled as in some cases an inexperienced offensive line for Auburn. Size will win you games. Size will win you battles inside. But it's going to be creative to see how Barry Odom can do it. You saw, and like you said, the Mississippi State game, no other team's going to do that sort of an offense in the SEC. So is it a one-time fluke? Absolutely. But you saw that Barry Odom can adapt that defense to slow down offenses. And I have no reason not to believe that he won't do the same thing against Auburn, to put a game plan in place to slow down that offense, or whatever offense that Chad Morris has right now, because up to now, he ain't really seen much of that Chad Morris offense down at Auburn.
Well, defensively, that's still Auburn's strength. Their front seven, their front four really is their strength. These are big guys that Arkansas faced last year and really couldn't move the ball against them at all. So we'll see if that's going to be the case if they can't do it again. Lots to get to on halftime today. We've got Clay Henry, as usual, 12:30, dialing in, and Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, 12:30. For a college football check around the SEC. And it'll be fun to talk to Bill. It's just the first time we talked to Bill since Arkansas finally won an SEC game. I wonder if that's changed his perception or maybe the national perception of Razorback football. You know what would help change the perception of the last few years?
Keep winning.
Back-to-back wins. That's right. You do it once, that's nice. We always have to remind you, do it again, and then do it again, and do it again. Speaking of do something, do this. Call 877-377-6963 for halftime, and we're right back.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot, you know.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at arttrack.com.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
When you want a beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars in an atmosphere befitting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items, including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites. Dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Divorce is never easy. Many times problems continue to arise long after the divorce is over. If you're dealing with a high conflict custody or visitation issue, you need an attorney that handles those specific type of cases. Call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners for immediate assistance with your situation. Kevin Hickey Law Partners, able to handle high conflict custody cases all over the state of Arkansas and other states. Check out kevinhickeylaw.com or call 479-434-2414 in Fort Smith and 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas.
Looking to upgrade your fleet or needing professional service to your existing fleet? Carco International of Fort Smith offers the latest trucks and equipment in the industry. With over 70 years in the trucking and equipment business, they have the experience to keep you on the road. Carco International offers professional service after the sale. Carco International Parts Department supplies all makes, parts, and gives expert service. Carco International is the answer. Leave it to the pros to keep you on the road. Carco International, located at 2721 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Taking at the 40. That's Adams. Trying to reverse this field. But everybody's staying home. Now he does a tightrope act. Boy, Houdini's in the house. Wearing number 3. And nobody's home to watch that house. Touchdown, Hogs! Holy Hog!
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Smackdown.
Back on Halftime here. You can get with us in this segment at 877-377-6963. Smackdown, Matty T. You know one thing I cannot do that I've never had the ability to do, and I don't even think I would be able to learn if I ever tried. It's play guitar. But you know what I can do? I have a heart. I got a brain. I was born in 1977, and when I was 7 years old, Jump and Panama were the biggest things that I could watch on MTV. And there were some other things there. You know, there was Michael Jackson, there was Cyndi Lauper, all these other great artists. But there was something about Van Halen, and specifically about Eddie Van Halen, that the news that broke yesterday just really hits hard. Differently than I think if it was somebody like Keith Richards, or. There was something about, of course, there's a difference in age and all of that, but there was something in not the way that Eddie Van Halen played. Of course, he was incredible, unique. Nobody played like that, but it was something in his countenance. The dude was always smiling. He always looked like he was smiling. Did you see Valerie Bertinelli's tweet today? And their relationship was one of the primo marriages, celebrity relationships of the 1980s. Valerie Bertinelli, star of One Day at a Time, and Eddie Van Halen, one of the real princes of rock and roll. And it really hits. She described Eddie Van Halen as having an always impish grin. I thought that was a perfect description. It's really a sad day, and a lot of our I don't want to throw the term out there, but the best way to describe him would be like a guitar idol, a guitar hero. A lot of our idols and heroes are dying in recent years. If we just take it to sports, look at the Baseball Hall of Famers that passed away in the last 3 weeks. Those guys were all in their 80s, though. They lived full lives, Eddie Van Halen at 65, man, that is way too young. And I didn't know. I don't know if a lot of us knew he'd been battling throat cancer for 10 years.
What were you going to say, Matty?
Kobe, that's how the year started off, remember?
Yeah. It didn't start off. I think for a lot of us, and me, obviously the younger of us three in here, but probably Van Halen and Eddie Van Halen, that was the first rock band that I probably remember listening to. And like you said, Panama, Jump is
I remember jumping up and down on the bed while that video was on MTV.
Panama?
No, Jump.
Oh.
I was jumping up and down to Panama.
Well, I'd be curious how many high school basketball arenas or just basketball games in general at some point during a game play Jump. It's everywhere.
So you've got all Van Halen comebacks today.
Yeah, every comeback we got coming out of commercial.
Now, all the lead singers.
David
Lee Roth,
everybody.
Gary Sharon.
A lot of people have very strong feelings about Van Hagar, as they called him. I will say though, the song "Dreams," I'm a huge fan of that song. I've always been.
I bet you that one will come up.
But
today.
all their best stuff, most of the best stuff came during the David Lee Roth years.
But I guarantee you at some point, guys our age and y'all's age, my age, you have some association with Van Halen, whether it be through athletics or just if you just love classic rock and the rock genre.
Biggest rock and roll band, along with the Police, from the late 70s to the early 80s, before the Police broke up and Sting just turned into Sting, and then Van Halen, went into a different direction with Hagar. But those are the two biggest rock bands of that time. I don't think that it's even close. We'll be playing some of those comebacks, and that one really hit yesterday. I got to tell you. And it's not like I'm some huge rock and roller, but I am a child of the '80s. And
we're a child of the '80s. We all three of us guys, we love. I think that's one thing that we probably all come together with is that classic rock and Van Halen, Aerosmith, all those guys from the '80s and '90s.
But it was also like the when he joined Michael Jackson for "Beat It."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that famous guitar solo, which by the way I understand he recorded in one take. That's it. One take.
Seriously?
Yes, this is what I read today. I didn't even realize it. Did he get paid? I mean, the other thing I read is he didn't get paid for it, which I think would be a shock. But hey, the combination of Eddie Van Halen and Michael Jackson is pretty flooring, and that's the song that will time, no doubt. All right, so let's see what we can get into sports-wise here. All right, so with the sports-wise and weather coming together as we move away from music. You got any? So we know LSU Missouri has been moved. That's now in Columbia, Missouri. It'll be an 11 o'clock kickoff. Nobody right now is saying that Arkansas Auburn is getting moved. Nobody is saying that Ole Miss is getting moved as they host, who is it, Kentucky this weekend. But it's only Wednesday. You know how these storms can change so often, so quickly. So these teams have to be mobile and ready to make a change at a moment's notice. Although the decision's got to come, I would imagine, within the next 24, 36 hours if the game's going to be moved.
Well,
because
Tommy,
you got to have a team that flies in one direction, right?
Well, Tommy brought up a good point this morning, and I didn't even think about it. What about all the equipment staff that drive the semi down there? Drive it down there. They don't fly it down there. So that's another aspect of it, but who knows? And me and Matty T were talking about this earlier today, just kind of like planning out, like from a logistic and programming standpoint, how we need to proceed. And you're right. We'll be shocked if we don't hear something by Friday at the latest to try to figure this thing out because, like you just said, players flying down there, getting hotels and everything that goes with it. When you look at the Weather Channel in their most recent graphic,
it's moving further west.
It's moving further west, yeah. Maybe not necessarily more into Arkansas, but the track that they're showing, they don't even have New Orleans in it. And whereas yesterday New Orleans looked like they're right in the center of it, they, like you said, Missouri and LSU's already been moved. Right in the middle of the eye is Baton Rouge, so Baton Rouge is out. Right now, which I'm not very familiar on a map where Auburn is, I've just been told from Tommy that it's in the southeastern portion of Alabama. Right now, pretty much only the upper half of Alabama's covered. The bottom half is good. So, and Whole Hog Sports and Matt Jones of Whole Hog Sports put this together. The only three SEC games that could theoretically be in trouble with this is obviously Missouri and LSU. That's already been moved to Columbia for an 11 a.m. kickoff. And Alabama at Ole Miss. That's probably the only other one. And right now, according to the map, and if this stays true, Arkansas at Auburn should be a go.
All right. Well, has there ever been I don't remember in recent years an Arkansas game that's been moved to a different location because of weather. The worst weather I can remember during an Arkansas game, I think this would have been the 2001 season against Tennessee. I mean, that game was played in a frightening lightning storm, and I think it was delayed in the second half because of lightning.
Interesting.
So
okay.
I mean, that's one of the more. I mean, that's not even recent. That's 19 years ago. But that's the last time I remember a game that was really affected by weather for Arkansas than anybody else. You know, one of the other things you got to remember about this too, Jordan-Hare Stadium. That's a grass field. This is not the fake stuff. So if it's coming down, you're actually going to get, a muddy football field with grass and dirt. And
it's a beautiful thing.
It'll be just disgustingly beautiful, won't it? That's for mudding. That's for mudders, right? I wonder if Auburn's a little more built for mudding than Arkansas is. But hey, it would be the kind of it wouldn't be three yards in a cloud of dust. It would be 3 yards and a mouthful of mud.
Well, let's before we go, you talk about the mud and everything else. Did you see Joe Fouche's quote?
I heard it this morning on The Rush.
Oh, I'll play it for you guys if you haven't heard it. Here's Joe Fouche. He's talking about the difference between eagles and hogs.
You have an eagle, you have a hog. An eagle, when it's raining, cold, go inside, right? You know, a hog, we love that mud, we love that water, so that's what we're going to be out there Saturday. We're going to be some wild hogs getting dirty, muddy, rainy. We're going to be in that weather, so we're not concerned about that. You know, we just ready to go play, you know, to keep showing the world what we have here at Arkansas. That's what we're going to do.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That to me, that's cherry-picking mascots because, you know, you've got an Eagle mascot for War Eagle, but the team's called the Tigers. I think Tigers do okay in rain. Eagles, maybe not so much. Tigers are kind of nasty animals, and whether it's raining or not, they're not like the house cats that don't like water and will jump out of the bathtub as soon as you throw them in. Not like I've ever done that before. But, hey, you can't cherry-pick mascots. But, Auburn, maybe I should just tell you to pick a mascot, for crying out loud, instead of having one that flies above the other one that your team's named after. Anyway, we'll see.
Hey, make
Clay
sure you
Henry
head to
coming up after the break.
Absolutely. Make sure you head to hitthatline.com. Get registered for the Hardee's Lunch Bunch. Me and Matty T and Phil, we're going to pick a winner tomorrow to announce to you guys here on halftime. That'll get you a Hardee's lunch for your office bunch, your job site, you name it. We'll have it covered for you. From Hardee's in Northwest Arkansas, head to hitthatline.com today and get registered. That's only hitthatline.com and brought to you by Hardee's in Northwest Arkansas.
Clay Henry from Hogs Illustrated is next on halftime.
Stugatz here. Advance Auto Parts is hooking you up big this October. Big as in $10,000 plus a virtual meet and greet with yours truly and the rest of the Dan Le Batard Show gang. Just text Le Batard to 77333 to enter, then head to Advance Auto Parts for a die-hard battery so you're ready for your victory lap after winning. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. Limit one entry per day. See advanceautoparts.com for details.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Marvelous, because I, a thespian, have been on a quest for the perfect insurance.
Sweet balcony.
I've requested no less than 13 balconies.
That's a lot.
All the world's a stage.
Well, with Liberty Mutual, thou customize and thou saveth.
That's the spirit.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I'm shocked it's October already. This year's gone by so fast it's scary. Now I'm afraid I'm not going to hit my goals. So I'm rolling out my most shocking deals yet. It's my Shocktober sales event. Swap your current car for one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and priced to save you money. So dump that pumpkin that's haunting your driveway. Trade and save on a nicer, newer car today. Are past credit problems keeping you up at night? Don't be scared. My For the People credit approval process is a treat, and our friendly, non-commissioned sales staff can help you get the nicer, newer car you want at a price and payment that fits your budget. Keeping the car you have? Let us get it ready for fall in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, or call ahead and set up your free winter-ready inspection. It's the Shocktober sales event, only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Breen RV in Van Buren is having their last sale of the year. Despite COVID-19's best effort, we are still getting in new trailers in weekly, and they are marked down as soon as they hit the lot. Browse Breen RV's selection of Forest River, Dutchman, Thor, and Coachman products and pick out the best fit for you. You can buy with ease knowing that your new purchase comes with free maintenance for life. Once you're ready to hibernate for the winter, bring your camper into us for deluxe winterization specials starting at just $99. Breen RV will work on all makes and models, and don't forget that all their accessories are installed for free. The Breen RV Center in Van Buren, your friends in the RV business.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week, both on the open-air patio and air-conditioned dining room for your safety and comfort. River City Bistro is locally owned and open weekdays 11 to 8, Saturdays 10 to 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Wednesday across the natural state, talking Arkansas, Auburn. Your memories of Eddie Van Halen and stuff of the sort. And we're going to talk about that with Clay Henry here, who was walking down memory lane with some Van Halen talk during the commercial break. Listened to a lot of Van Halen last night, did you, Clay?
Yeah, we did. You know, I've got special speakers that are Bluetooth in my phone, and I've got Apple Music, so I just queued up the Van Halen Essential from Apple Music. So preparing dinner, and then throughout dinner until I guess we turned it off finally to watch the NBA playoff game, which that's the only time I watch the NBA is in the finals. And it's the most intense time, and I think it's the most real time where defense is, has value and everything. But yeah, back to Van Halen. And I'm not a Van Halen guy per se. I'm more of a country George Strait. But I like all the greats, all the classic, like Aretha Franklin, Frank Sinatra, Pete Fountain. That may not mean anything to anybody, the greatest clarinet player. But Van Halen's got to be there as one of the greats. When he starts doing the double-handed picking on his guitar, it's like, whoa,
yeah,
that is pretty special.
I can't, in my head, think of anybody that was any faster, or at least made it sound that fast.
He was unique in the way he played the guitar, and everybody knew it too. And everybody's like, "Well, you didn't try to copy that because you couldn't." That was. But yeah, we listened to that last night. My wife had a jump rope team. She's probably listening. She's coming back from the gym right now. She taught PE and always had a competitive jump rope team. And the song that they would start off with on stage, I think, the way she explained it last night, was Jump. So we played that 2 or 3 times, and she was excited. Yeah, we had a good time with thinking about Eddie Van Halen. Sorry for his loss. Yep.
Absolutely.
Great
and it feels like everybody kind of lost something too, because that's,
no question.
That's a guitar god from the early 80s.
It's so sad that we celebrate these people after they're gone.
Yeah.
It's like, we wished we could do it, could have this kind of outpouring where he knew it. But yeah, I guess that's what it is. But just in case, I don't want anybody to think that I'm just off my rocker, the people that know me. Generally, when I'm rolling down the road in my truck, I've queued up, my 50 number ones music from George Strait, where all 50 songs are number ones. And it's hard to beat that, too.
Sometimes you just got to know when to make an adjustment. Sounds like that's what you did yesterday.
We did. We made it audible. Yeah.
Seems to me Saturday's game, Arkansas-Auburn, all about who can establish the run. And I wonder about if Auburn would love to establish the run. They've not been able to do that in these first 2 games. Right now, their offensive line is a question mark, and running backs too. They might. I don't think they're quite as strong at that position as they've been recently. I wonder if you think Arkansas could be up to the task of stopping Auburn's run attack, which they haven't really been able to do in a while.
Well, they did do that 2 years ago down there. I don't know if you remember, 34-3 or something like that. And it was all special teams botches. But they, I'm writing this, so this is in my wheelhouse. But that's the one game where I thought John Chavis is like, yeah, he's going to do something. And they stuffed the run. I think Auburn made 91 yards. 225 total is what Auburn had in that game. But the field position was so lopsided. They scored on special teams, and they set up the field short, block punts, returns. But they did play the run pretty good. I thought that was probably one of Santos Ramirez's best games. And it was, that was kind of a little bit of a glimmer. You think, well, they're going to get this done. But this has been more consistent these first 2 games than anything that we've seen in the last 2 years, and everybody knows that. But, yeah, and this is not vintage Auburn in either trenches. They're still pretty good in the defensive line, and they play hard, but they don't have Marlon Davidson. They don't have Derek Brown, and they've lost some other guys. their middle linebacker, who's their leading tackler, Britt, is doubtful for this game. He's, people were probably not really tuned into the Auburn-Georgia game the way they were Arkansas, but the injury tent was up almost as much on the Auburn sideline as it was on the Arkansas sideline this game, and they're beat up. Now they get Smoke Monday, their safety back, who's was really their best tackler in the Kentucky game. But I think you can run on this team a little bit, and I think that the inability to run the ball has been the glaring weakness the first 2 weeks. So get this. This is an Auburn offensive line, 4 new starters, new coach. J.B. Grimes retired, living on DeGray Lake in Arkansas now. He's an Arkansas guy. But they've got 3 of their offensive linemen are converted defensive tackles. They didn't play offensive line in high school. 3 stars. Their right guard is a guy that was not recruited by any Power 5 schools. It started the last 3 years at Akron, so he's a graduate transfer, not even rated. But it's a bunch of 3 stars, guys. I mean, it's not, this isn't what we've seen with Kozan and some of those other guys at offensive guard that would just blister you inside, that wipe out your nose tackle and linebackers. Their inside guys aren't that right now. They pass block a little better than they run block. And I know that's what they're spending their time on this week, trying to improve that run blocking, because that's been the bread and butter for Malzahn. His offense is that. Now you still got Swartz that's Olympic speed, and you're going to have to stop the fly sweep. That if that's not play number 1, it'll be play number 2 in the first series for Auburn.
Speaking of Clay Henry here on halftime, Clay, when you look at the Auburn defense, like we were just talking about, right now, according to ESPN, they've allowed, 239 yards passing and 173 yards on the ground. And we're kind of just waiting for that breakout game where the Kendall Briles offense can get moving and kind of show what this thing could potentially be. And I told Phil yesterday, and I think you'd agree, you saw some improvement against Mississippi State, mainly Feleipe Franks not really turning the football over and different players like that. Is this Auburn game, can this be the game where this offense can get moving?
Well, you don't know. And it's, I think it'll be gradual improvement. I think you'll be able to see things. But each week, you're playing a team that makes adjustments on what you're doing, and Kevin Steele is a terrific defensive coordinator. I mean, he's getting $2.5 million a year, and that's not because Gus Malzahn is his best friend. He's that kind of a defensive coordinator. So they'll be. I think it'll be a defensive slugfest. I think you've got a good defensive coordinator in Barry Odom, obviously, and I think they'll take some things away from Auburn. But it's a more even matchup in the trenches than it's been. Auburn has been so much better up front on both sides of the ball the last few years. It was a physical mismatch. That's not going to be the case now. And I think the other thing, Matt, is that you really worry about how the weather is going to affect the offenses and the execution. And will there be turnovers because of the wet ball and the wet turf? And, I think the storm is going to be a little bit more westerly than we thought maybe 2 or 3 days ago, but it's still going to be a wet field. But we know this. Hogs like to slop, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely. You were at that Mississippi State game last weekend. What have you, in previous games this year so far, what have you seen out of Stromberg, Limmer, Latham, and that offensive line so far that gives you confidence that they can slow down the defensive front for Auburn?
Well, they're competitive, and they play with emotion and fire, and they don't back down. They think they're going to be good, and they play with confidence. And I worry more about the outside in this game. Big Cat, their outside rusher, he'll be a matchup for whatever side they decide to play him on. I think they'll play him on both. They'll move him around. Cunningham and Gatlin. That to me, I think Arkansas, those 3 inside guys from what I've seen the last 2 weeks, I mean, it's been great. It's been great for them to play games and get further down the road and stay healthy. And see, that's the good news for Arkansas's scheme right now, is that you need offensive linemen, the same 5, to stay on the field every week. And they'll get better in understanding what the guy next to them is going to do and getting a feel for just the games that are played up front, how when a team stems and moves their front, I got to release that guy. Limmer, I don't got him now. It's going to be Stromberg's got him, and you have to feel that. It's not something that happens by watching tape. You've got to go out there and play games. And offensive linemen, they build on every game. And I think that's what's happened with those inside guys right now, Matt. And that's a good point. And that's what I watch every week. I watch those guys. And I feel like, Arkansas has got winners there at those 3 inside positions, that they're going to play a lot of football, and you're going to like what you get from them down the road.
Well, I think that's where the games are going to be won or lost, especially this one. When you just talk about where the weather's going to be, running the football, whoever can control that line of scrimmage is probably going to win the ball game. And we talked, obviously we saw a lot of positive attention after Arkansas beat Mississippi State. And you saw from Kirk Herbstreit, you saw from a lot of the national media guys really paying attention to what Barry Odom's done to this defense in such a short amount of time. But I'm curious from your standpoint, if Arkansas does go on the road and beats Auburn, and that's back-to-back A, SEC victories, B, SEC road victories, what do you think that'll do for, the national perception and just maybe the SEC perception of Arkansas?
Yeah, you might have to pinch yourself because they may be ranked. That's just the nature of what happens in the SEC. You win on the road in the SEC against ranked teams. Well, if teams are losing and they're ranked, they got to go. The teams that are winning got to come in. So, yeah. Now, that's getting ahead of yourself a little bit. That's
absolutely.
We're and I think it's a good question, though, Matt, but it's for the fans and not for the players. And what I said, and I believe maybe we talked about this last week. I forget when I'm talking to you, Phil, or Ty, or maybe Bo Manley on the pregame show. But what I've wanted to see is consistent effort from week to week, because over the last 4 or 5 years, there might be a game where you say, well, they put it on the line and they brought it, and you felt good about, say, they played hard at, down at AT&T Stadium and almost got Texas A&M and felt like you should have. And then they slipped back. Their effort wasn't near the same the next couple of weeks. But it's been consistent for 2 weeks. And is that what we're going to get from Sam Pittman and Barry Odom on defense and these offensive linemen in Feleipe Franks? Is he going to keep adding to what he can do as far as this offense? So, or will this be, okay, they read their press clippings a little bit too much? And I've heard Dave Van Horn talk about that before. It's like, so our guys didn't bring it today. They've been reading their press clippings. So that's the danger of, when you haven't been there before, is that you do get a win. And, yeah, we know this isn't Chad Morris. There was no club dub, but it's still in everybody's little self, their soul is when people are stroking you and saying you're doing great, is to think that you've made it. And really what you need to do is just keep working and just keep stringing together those great efforts. And then you'll like it when the end of the year comes.
Clay, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you as always. Safe trip down to the Plains if you are making the trip, and we'll talk about it next week.
I am. Rock on, brothers. Rock on.
That's right, and keep rocking on.
Thanks, Clay.
That's a long drive, by the way. 7 hours, and the last 2 hours, well, that's from Little Rock. From here, it's probably more like 9.5, 10. The last 2 hours from Birmingham to Auburn, I'm going to tell you what, those are the longest 2 hours you will ever drive in your entire life. Halftime coming back after the break, and here to end the first hour, we might have a nomination of a Duma of the week. We've got some things that I've done in my life that were pretty stupid. But I'm smart if I own a business that needs more security or more curb appeal, and I call the fence man at 479-782-3936. because the fence man's been doing it over 40 years, and they can come over for a quick, no-obligations quote. 479-782-3936 for the fence man, a division of Quantum Property Services. Back after the break to wrap up the first hour.
From the paint store. And you know, those big box retailers can't compete with the experience and expert friendly advice we give you here at the paint store in Van Buren. I've tested myself, then chosen just the right blend of Richards paints to give you the best performance. Richards Paints is a company with the same philosophy as us: top-notch coverage, extreme washability. The bonus for you is the friendly expert advice you get free with every gallon. Call 474-4505 or stop by and see us at 1414 Fayetteville Road. We'll see you soon.
Come on into Buffalo Wild Wings and try our new fan favorites, featuring our new cauliflower wings paired with our mouth-watering Zing Zang sauce. While you're here, reward yourself with Buffalo Wild Wings' new daily trivia while enjoying our fan favorite smoked brisket burger or southern chicken sandwich. Let your taste buds win and come on in to Buffalo Wild Wings, the best and only place to watch college football and the NFL. Celebrate your fantasy team winning on our wall-to-wall TVs. Locations in Little Rock, Fort Smith, Sherwood, Jonesboro, and Conway. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Winter is just around the corner. At AOG, we realize some customers are facing new challenges because of the pandemic. We're here to help. Our customer service team can offer you a wide array of payment options or direct you to utility payment assistance agencies in your area for help. Please call us at 1-800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com. Thank you for being a valued AOG customer. We're all in this together.
Edwards Auto Center in Roland has a newly remodeled facility with a greater selection of vehicles, and you will enjoy a relaxed, no-pressure sales experience. If your credit score has been an issue, Edwards Signature Buy Here, Pay Here program is a part of their superior customer service. Some restrictions may apply. Edwards has helped folks achieve their dreams of auto ownership and providing quality used vehicles for more than 30 years. Visit the newly remodeled Edwards Auto Center 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge. The first car dealer on the right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hi, this is Melissa, owner of True Grit Running Company. There's nothing scarier than foot pain. Whether you're suffering from plantar fasciitis, bunions, or maybe you're just sore from being on your feet all day, we have something that can help you. From braces and massage tools to inserts and game-changing shoes handpicked for you, we've got you covered. Don't let hurting feet spook you. Visit us at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Machine here for
Sorry, Phil, you
Ricky
didn't,
and Green.
You didn't change back to the other Comrex, so I didn't have you turned on when you were talking.
Well, here we go.
3, 2,
1, and start over.
Starting the segment over again back on halftime to wrap up the first hour here. I want to empty out the text machine while we do that, and then get to whatever's next. Ricky and Greenwood. I also had a Twitter follower, Juanito, remind me that the last Arkansas football game that was affected by weather, by either being moved or delayed or postponed, was this would have been like this was the biggest win of the John L. Smith era, the 49-7 victory against Kentucky. Game was called in the third quarter.
That was the debut. Was the debut of the anthracite uniforms, if I'm not mistaken.
Those were a huge hit.
I loved them.
They remain a huge soaking wet hit.
Hey, you can judge them all you want. I enjoyed those uniforms. That's the millennial coming out in me, though, I think.
Text out of the 479 reminds you that Auburn is essentially just East Alabama. It is. It's right there. It's like 30 minutes away by car from the border with Georgia. And, in fact, a lot of times when you fly to Auburn, now they do have their own little airstrip that the university owns there. But most teams, I'm imagining Arkansas is going to have to fly into Columbus, Georgia first. So you actually fly into Georgia to go play Auburn. That's what the baseball team's done a number of times. Robert in Van Buren thinks Arkansas's players will be uber motivated to play against Chad Morris, especially the offense.
Uber motivated. I like it.
Perhaps this is the week that the unit pulls it together, weather permitting. Yeah, they'll be uber motivated to go up against Chad Morris. A lot of those guys, though, came to Arkansas to play for Chad Morris. We have to remember that. Rakeem Boyd, he came to play for Chad Morris. Traylon Smith, he came to play for Chad Morris.
Burks.
All your receivers.
KJ Jefferson.
KJ Jefferson, that's right. You know, the only guy that didn't was Feleipe Franks. I think he's the only one.
And I guarantee, I bet every one of them are glad they got Sam Pittman now.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right about that. And BE was going at me about the idea between. So we've got to do in 8 minutes. We've got this box score to crumple up.
We got him ready to go.
Is this a superstition or is this a tradition? Because there is a difference. There is a major difference here. A superstition is something you do because you think it leads to something happening or something not happening.
No, this is a tradition.
A tradition is just something you do just because.
Yes, absolutely.
This is not a superstition.
Superstition is what we're testing Friday and Saturday when Ty watches Rocky 2, and if it works out well, that is a superstition.
That will be a superstition.
But you can have superstitious traditions.
That's a good point, too.
It's like this is tradition, but we're doing this tradition because we're afraid if we don't, something bad's going to happen.
Yes.
Traditionally, I like my traditions to remain non-superstitious. Maybe that's the best.
My God, my head hurts now.
Traditionally, I like to walk under ladders. And
don't give me the opportunity to play some word salad. 877-377-6963. So we've got to come up with our Duma of the week at some point. We'll play that on Friday, I believe. Speaking of Friday, we have confirmed Andy Burcham, who's the radio voice of Auburn football and men's basketball and baseball, joining us Friday. So we'll try to make sure we get all of the other radio guys from across the SEC to join us Fridays. Speaking of radio guys in the SEC, Chuck Barrett and Sam Pittman on these very same airwaves tonight, 7 o'clock, Sam Pittman live. Davion Warren will be along for the ride. I'm assuming Davion's not showing up at the Catfish Hole. I think they have the players on via Zoom. So after he had a career day with that long touchdown bomb down the middle of the field and 100 yards receiving, Davion Warren will be featured on Sam Pittman Live with Chuck Barrett and Sam Pittman. So should look forward to that. All right, so you've got a nomination, though, for the Duma of the Week here, SmackDown, and I wonder if this is something anybody's ever done before who's listening.
So came across this little gem here. This was a very intoxicated college student. She got stuck.
Don't these things go together?
In a clothing dryer and had to be rescued by firefighters. This came from Yorkshire, England at Hull University. And 21-year-old Rosie Cole, she had to be rescued by firefighters when she got stuck in her dryer on a dare and her housemates couldn't pull her out of the dryer.
I would be worried about her if she got stuck in the dryer not on a dare.
Well, apparently
that's the only reason to ever get inside your dryers. If
it was because their clothes were wet.
They'll give you money for it.
According to the release here, admittedly they got bored during the COVID-19 lockdown in England. The undergrads from
everyone else.
Yorkshire in the UK had swallowed, and they came across several bottles of Zinfandel wine and downed honey tequila shots last week when they dared their pal to take a quote-unquote tumble in the dryer. You see what I did there? It was a dryer because a tumble dryer.
So in America, we eat Tide Pods, and over there, they actually go into the dryer.
Right, exactly. So we do the cleansing over here.
Yeah.
They do the drying over there. Absolutely.
Can I tell you, I don't even think that wouldn't even make the top 10 of stupid things I did as a kid. I would
been one of the safer things you could have done.
As a child, we were talking about childhood in the early 80s and listening to Van Halen and all of that.
All right.
I probably should have had my television privileges banned for the entire decade from all the stupid stuff I did.
Like what?
I think I was Duma of the decade.
Like what do we?
I was really good at looking at fuzzy channel screens and making out what pictures were coming through.
Well, you and every other kid, but I mean, how many kids do you know that actually crawled underneath somebody's pickup truck across the street from your parents' house and lit an entire book of matches?
I mean, what could be dangerous about that?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. It's the only time I've ever been led across the street by my earlobes by a 65-year-old woman who.
That's why one ear is
right
a little
to
bit.
My father like that. Yeah.
One ear hangs a little bit lower than the other one now.
Also, that's why your ear hangs. Okay, now it's all starting to make sense now.
Halftime is brought to you by our friends at Washita Farms. They make CBD products. They're made all across the state, sold all across the state in nearly 200 stores. These are small batch made, lab results are verified and published on the website, WashitaFarms.com. This is a local company right there in Hot Springs Village. Jeff and Mark and Mitchell and David all dealing with personal experiences using these plant-based products. That's WashitaFarms.com. Use the code WPS15 at checkout.
Randall Ford is excited to announce their state-of-the-art mobile service van, stocked with all the latest tools and technology needed to service your vehicle. Everything from oil changes, warranty repair, battery, software updates, brake jobs, and so much more. All is done with your convenience and safety in mind. We'll come to your office or home to provide professional service the Randall Ford way. Stop by today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or check us out online 24/7. RandallFord.com. Ford, the #1 selling brand in America.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Fitness will always be about keeping a routine. And the best routines in life will always make time for enjoying yourself. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told ya. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beers. Beer in Texas. St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning. Your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
High pressure has a good hold on our weather, keeping us dry, mild, and quiet as we head over the next few days. Clear skies tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the low 50s. Wednesday, we should see a whole lot of sunshine, our high in the mid to upper 80s. Thursday, blue sky and sunshine, highs in the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by OG&E Weatherization Program for Arkansas customers with homes at least 10 years old. Call 1-800-272-9741 for details or log on to OGE.com.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
I know some of you really don't want us to do this.
Oh, no, they do.
After the first SEC win in, 3.5 years, 20 games, you kind of want to hang on to these things a little bit. But I think it's an important thing to remember. You always got to be able to move on in life from the failures.
Preach it, Brother Elson.
From the achievements, and even from the moments that you feel like you are finally pulling your head out of the sand. You just got to be able to move forward. Tomorrow's always more important than yesterday.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Nothing's more important than today.
Snaps
and
for
nothing's more important than the, what did you call this? The ASMR portion?
This is the ASMR portion. Yes, this is the ASMR portion of halftime. So if you have sensitive ears, you might turn down your radios. But otherwise, Matty T, let's crank up those microphones. And if you like this stuff, crank up your car radios because this is fixing to be a lot of fun for you guys.
We're proud of Arkansas football for beating Mississippi State, but we got to do this to the box score. All right, that was last week. We're past it. Moving on. So that means we get to do this.
Satisfying.
You are ripping this thing. You are
this
actually ripping the thing to shreds. He's ripping it, folks. He's angry.
I feel sorry for
bite
that.
it. I don't need you to be eating the paper. You just got to throw it in the garbage when you're done with it.
You're going to hurt your teeth doing that.
Arkansas 14-point underdog as of right now. The line sliding a little bit towards the Razorbacks the last 2 days. We got some pretty big news there from Clay Henry. And, I've been reading up on Auburn the last couple of days. I had not seen that KJ Britt, their outstanding linebacker, all-SEC linebacker, is right now doubtful for the game. That would be a huge loss for them. He is a 243-pound senior linebacker that leads that defense. So if they're without him, that's going to be an issue for Kevin Steele and that Auburn defense. But we have to remember, they've got plenty of depth there. Auburn has been winning games on defense for quite a while now, and they'll be able to do the same thing Saturday when the Razorbacks get in there. So you want to get a key for this game, and you mentioned one of the things that's pretty important from last week against Mississippi State. I think you're going to need to do the same thing here. Not necessarily, you want to win the turnover battle, and Arkansas won the turnover battle 4-2 against the Bulldogs, and you need to do that again, but no interceptions thrown by Feleipe Franks. He needs to be clean with the football, and make smart throws. I do wonder a little bit about the run-pass option with Franks. He seems to hold that ball in the running backs or wide receiver in Davion Warren's case last week, midsection, very long and delays things a bit. And I think that's why week one, the interception he threw over the middle, I think he pulled that ball out a little late and missed the read. And then last week, it was Warren who dropped the ball on the RPO, and it just seemed that ball was in the midsection for quite a while. And that's going to be and when you're dealing with the rain that you're probably dealing with on Saturday, quarterback better be – you better know where the ball's going, and especially on these run-pass options. When you pull it out of somebody's midsection, you can't have two guys fighting over the football. That does worry me a little bit.
Yeah, the couple times that you had those turnovers, particularly with Mississippi State and Georgia, both of those times where you run the RPO, every time that he probably could have kept the ball, he being Feleipe, you could have had probably a 10, 15-yard gain out of the deal. And every time that RPO works, because they're so keyed in on Traylon Smith, particularly during Mississippi State, Rakeem Boyd against Georgia, Feleipe Franks can get 5-6 yards every time. And if you're able to do that, you keep that defense honest where they're not necessarily so keyed in on stopping your running backs. But like you said, he has to not turn over the ball. And stat-wise, he had himself a good game. I think it was I can't look at the stats anymore because we can't look back in the past.
Just crumpled them up.
Crumpled them up. Believe he was 20 of 28, 200 yards passing, just good, solid, steady numbers. He's going to need to do that again against Auburn this Saturday, and maybe just a little bit more. If he can throw for 300, I think you got a good shot at this, and not turning the ball over. Not necessarily turnovers are probably going to happen. Matter of fact, I think you'd be stupid to not say. Excuse me, that Arkansas is not going to turn the ball over. But if it's raining and you've got the conditions, turnovers are just going to happen. That particularly in that environment. If you're able to mitigate those and keep them down very low, try to limit them to 0, you're going to have a good shot at this thing. But it all starts with turnovers, and you need a solid game from Feleipe Franks. You need your senior quarterback. You need your leader to lead the way Saturday.
Will the deep ball be there? And, that's I would ask that question whether or not you got 45, 50-mile-an-hour winds. If there is, no, the deep ball's not there. But it's been there the last 2 weeks. You had Franks hit Burks on that beautiful off-balance throw down the left hash mark against Georgia. What was that, 54 yards? And Davion Warren right down the middle. So you kind of feel like this is a team that still has not been able to establish the ground game, but still has hit 2 long bombs for long touchdowns. And Franks does seem to have accuracy deep down the field. That's one aspect of what I think you expected from the Chad Morris offense the last 2 years that really never came, was trying to play vertically. This is a team right now that at least a couple, 3, 4 times per game is looking for the deep ball, and they've been successful on it enough that it's now a real weapon for this team. And to see Davion Warren break out the way that he did, we'd seen this with him on various kick returns over the last 2 seasons, but you never saw him do anything outside of special teams that really would step up. And that was the best part about Saturday, was that you lose your top receiver, you lose your starting running back, and you get a guy who really isn't even on the 2 deep as far as receivers are concerned, or if he is, he's an afterthought. And he comes up with, including the biggest touchdown of the game. And Traylon Smith, he didn't have the greatest game, but he held on to the ball. He created something out of nothing a few times. There is the sense right now that if you lose one of your guys, there's somebody waiting in the wings that can make plays. Boy, was that missing in recent years too. Depth has been an issue for Arkansas for a while, and I'm not saying it isn't now, but at least you are seeing backups step up, make plays, and help you win a game.
It's going to be crucial to kind of see how this whole thing plays out. We got a couple texts in here. JT in Hot Springs just texted in. Said, now that we moved on from state, how are we going to act after in his mind, he thinks we're going to go down and beat them. How are we going to act after we beat Auburn this weekend? Chad Morris effect will be in full effect this Saturday. Phil, he says the Hogs are going to win 24-14.
The more I read up on Auburn right now, I think this is a team that's in transition and doesn't really have a big leader on the field offensively that they need. I'm not sure if Bo Nix is that guy. Maybe their center is Nick Brahms, who's their only returning offensive lineman from last year. But it seems like it's a program that's in transition right now.
You get that vibe about them, absolutely.
Well, and they have to be nervous after being dominated thoroughly by Georgia again. They needed a big last few minutes to be able to beat Kentucky at home, and I wonder. I think there were some folks in Starkville that were looking past Arkansas. I think with the Razorbacks upset of Mississippi State, Auburn's on notice right now. I think they understand that this is a team that's maybe a little more dangerous than they expected 2 weeks ago. But with Auburn shuffling around their offensive line, unable to generate anything on the ground these last 2 weeks, and the offense being a huge question mark, I think they've got to be a little nervous about this. And the more I read up on it, look, right now, I mean, Arkansas is a 14-point underdog. I would pick Arkansas to cover. And I might actually, by the end of the week, you might actually be able to convince me that the Razorbacks could pull off an upset.
Whoa.
I don't know if I'm there yet.
Wow.
I need to do more reading. I need to do a little more thinking on this. But I would have not thought, 6 days ago that I would think the Razorbacks have a lick of a chance on the Plains. Now I do.
Well, you might be catching Auburn right at the right time right now. Like you just mentioned, thoroughly beaten down by Georgia and wounded, nervous, trying to make sure they get on the right foot, and Arkansas coming in probably one of the hottest teams in the SEC right now, if not the hottest team. You might be catching Auburn right at the right time when you go along with that logic.
877-377-6963. We have Bill King joining us at 12:30, so go ahead, give us a call in the next segment. We're talking baseball and a few other things. Stay tuned.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
A little girl asked me one time, "Pastor, does the devil have a mother?" I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
For the month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
On a world record-breaking drive from Alaska to South America in unpredictable conditions.
Thunderstorms, ice storms, they just don't quit.
Rainier Zeidlo chose Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades with advanced Quad-Tech 4-layer coated silicone that repels water, snow, and ice and lasts 2 times longer than other blades.
It's coming down in sheets.
Real world proven. Extreme weather wiping performance. Upgrade to Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades today. Only at Walmart.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we we serve.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Hertz Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
It'll be another 4-game day for the baseball playoffs that gets started in a little less than an hour at Minute Maid Park. Marlins Braves. Braves up 1-0. Stros have a chance to sweep the Athletics this afternoon. Rays and Yankees. Third game, they're tied 1 apiece. Dodgers and Padres, the late game. Dodgers got the win last night, and they're sending Cy Young pretty much to the mound with Clayton Kershaw looking outstanding the last time he went out. Yesterday, some interesting ball games. Also, I did a little math. There were a lot of home runs hit yesterday. So there were 15 home runs hit in the 4 baseball games. Actually, one of them didn't even have a home run. The Dodgers-Padres game had no home runs. So you had 3 games combined for 15 home runs, total of 58 hits in yesterday's baseball playoffs. So that's 26% of the hits went for home runs. This season, 16% of the base hits in all of Major League Baseball went for home runs. There's even more home runs being hit in the postseason. So let's see. Let's give a quick recap of this. The Braves 9-5 over Miami. How about Travis d'Arnaud? Everybody thought he'd have the biggest hit of that series, right? Former Mets catcher, signed as an offseason free agent, 3-run bomb in a 6-run 7th inning. Dansby Swanson added another one. And he also had Houston 5, Oakland 2. That's ticking me off. I know it's ticking you off too, SmackDown. Can't stomach the idea of a team with a losing record in the championship series. But hey, you know, if you get to the playoffs and you've won 2 series, then I guess you deserve to be in the championship series.
I guess it's really the losing. I mean, the losing record bothers me, but I think the fact is just the Astros.
It's a bunch of stuff coming together. George Springer, 2 home runs. Framber Valdez, 7 solid innings for the win. But it's not all happiness with the Astros now because Zach Greinke's elbow is not right, according to Dusty Baker after yesterday's game. So they do not have Justin Verlander. They may not have Zach Greinke. And the Astros might not have the pitching that's necessary to make it all the way through not just this series, but the championship series too, because remember, there's no off days in the best-of-7 American League and National League Championship Series. Tampa Bay beat the Yankees 7-5 in a game that included maybe the hardest-hit ball of the entire season. Yankees first baseman / designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton hit 2 homers. One of them came off the bat at 119 miles an hour. Off of a 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Tyler Glasnow. I think that's the hardest ball I've seen hit all year. These teams combined for 6 homers on 13 hits. The Rays hit 4 bombs. Randy Arozarena, Mike Zunino, Manuel Margot, and Tyler Meadows each with home runs. Yankees struck out 18 times,
wow,
which is the most ever in an American League playoff game. And then there was the Dodgers-Padres, the only non-home run game yesterday. Dodgers were no hit until scoring in the 5th inning and then erupt for 4 runs in the 6th. Walker Buehler gave him only 4 innings because of a finger blister. The big redhead Dustin May came out of the bullpen and threw 2 scoreless innings. Padres have to worry because Mike Clevenger came out after 2 innings with an injured elbow.
Can we just go back?
Dodgers 5-1.
He came out of the game for a blistered finger.
Well, you have to remember for pitchers, when you have a blister on one of your pitching fingers, you cannot grip the ball the way that you need to.
What a pansy!
No, this is a real problem that pitchers have dealt with for years and years. And some pitchers' skin is conditioned to get blisters more so than others.
Really? You think they'd be calloused up by then?
That's what I was thinking. Like almost like guitar. We were talking about Van Halen. I guarantee the end of Van Halen's fingers are just leather.
Well, that's also one of the problems about having all the calluses on your fingers. When they do break, it takes a lot longer for them to heal over. Now, I've seen pitchers try to throw a game with a blister on and really it's usually the pointer finger or the middle finger. How do you think these guys throw curveballs or actually control the ball? The fingers are pretty important, very important. So, Nolan Ryan was he had for some reason his fingers were more prevalent for getting blisters than others. So you know what he used to do? I guess this works. He used to stick his hand in pickle brine. He would soak his pitching hand in pickle brine to keep the ghosts of finger blisters away. That's right. It sounds like an injury that doesn't make sense, but believe me, it is. It is most definitely an injury that makes sense.
You convinced me. I apologize for being mean to you, Mr. Walker Buehler. I know you're listening right now, but it's just I couldn't help but laugh when you had to come out of the game because you had a little boo-boo on your finger.
Understood.
That's fair. I'm sorry. I apologize. I guess it's because I was just watching wrestling this weekend and you had dudes get busted. I'm not trying to.
Oh, yeah, that's a real sport.
Sure.
Hang on, you idiots. Hang on a second. One dude, the guy, I forget, what'd you call the guy that had the face paint and everything?
That's Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, it looked like Darth Maul.
He ended the match with a broken jaw, and blood was just gushing out of his mouth. It was glorious to see. And the other guy broke 3 teeth. So
yeah, that's the tough guys. Those are really the toughest athletes in all of sports are hockey players.
Yes,
without question. I mean, dudes that get 15 stitches from a puck to the face between the second and third period, and then come back out and play 6 minutes in the third. It's ridiculous. I remember a hockey player, and I used to be a huge hockey fan. There was a defenseman for the Penguins named Peter Taglianetti. He sprained his ankle terribly, and I forget what year the postseason was. But he never missed a game. He never missed a shift, even with a severely sprained ankle. You know how he managed it? He jammed a baggie full of peanut butter into his skate, and that cushioned his foot so that he could skate. Peanut butter helped the Penguins win a Stanley Cup one year. Not because anybody was eating it either, by the way.
Interesting. Yeah, hockey players are the toughest, and I was going to joke and throw Happy Gilmore in there for taking fastballs to the chest in the batting cage.
Well, Happy Gilmore, he was the first to ever take off his skate and try to stab somebody with it.
That's true. Yeah. That's very true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was no peanut butter in his skate.
One other baseball thing, and I was going to bring this up whenever the song plays, but we have Bill King in the next segment, and I know you've got Hot for Teacher playing for when Bill comes out for the next segment, since we're playing all these Van Halen rejoins. That's my favorite Van Halen song, and more because of the scene when I worked at the Travelers at the old ballpark at Ray Winder Field, and we would do what I called Screamin' Kids Day, which then was called Anti-Spit Tobacco School Kids Day. You try marketing it like that. Screamin' Kids Day makes more sense. So and we would get 10,000 school children from across the state, each with teachers, of course. And as soon as the gates would open, what song do you think played over the Ray Winder Field sound system? Hot for Teacher. And some of you might be rolling your eyes at that idea. I get it. This was like 16 years ago. I did not choose the music, but I did laugh at it. And there's something in the intro to that song, which is the drum beat, extremely quick, really staccato, that sort of sounds like the scene of 10,000 sugar-riddled hot dog-eating kids at 10 in the morning running to find a seat somewhere. I mean, it was picture perfect. And for me, Hot for Teacher will always stand out for that reason.
Jump will always stand out to me just because of the significance for, like, playing high school basketball, and that was always a song we tipped off on. But like you, Panama is probably my favorite Van Halen song just for the guitar riff. Ain't Talking About Love that we played earlier in the show is a fantastic one. Heck, all the Van Halen songs are
even the
incredible.
Gary Sharon Van Halen songs.
Sure.
Right, and we got a couple of texts here say, what about the scene from Varsity Blues? Like, that one's fine, but that's not what sticks with me with Hot for Teacher. It's playing it over the sound system for Kids Day. That's the one that hit me.
It's because you were there for that. I mean, we can all remember the song. We all remember that scene from Varsity Blues. But if you can visually remember something live, I get where you're coming from. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, those were the moments that first of all, you'll never hear that again at a school kids' day. Like, nobody will ever play Hot for Teacher when the gates open at a school kids' day. Those are the old days. It was entertaining for the moment, but on the other hand, I can also understand why somebody might roll their eyes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Travis rolled his eyes at me for saying no wrestling. I'm sorry.
That's all right, Travis. You know it'll come every once in a while. Every once in a while. If you have been delaying your care and you live in Baxter County, don't delay your care any longer, because Baxter Regional Medical Center is ready to take care of your family again safely. They're safe with everything: surgeries, procedures, all the scheduling, the check-in, the lobbies, safe hands, washing hands all the time, proper PPE for all team members. They've socially distanced inside all the lobbies. They're disinfecting and cleaning every single surface inside all of their facilities. So don't delay your health care any further. Go to BaxterRegionalCare.org to learn more about the extra precautions Baxter Regional is taking to keep you safe. Go to BaxterRegionalCare.org. Don't delay your care at Baxter Regional Medical Center. Back to more college football talk with a national perspective on Arkansas from Bill King, the king of college football talk, next on Halftime.
Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas wants you to get out and explore this fall. Wheels has the luxury brands you can depend on to keep you camping. Brands like Grand Design, Alliance, KZ, and the all-new solar-powered Vibe. And with a lifetime warranty on every new unit and a mobile service shuttle, you can relax and know that your RV will stay like new year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Over $7,900 truck month savings are here now at Road Chevrolet. Yes, select new 20 Chevy Silverado 1500 models. Now up to $7,967 total savings. Or pay just $42,698 for a new 20 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT at Road Chevrolet. Conveniently located at exit 2A off I-540 in Van Buren. Or roadchevy.com. Chevy, find the new roads. Savings includes factory and dealer savings with approved credit, plus tax and license fees. See dealer for details. Ends 11/2/20.
Whole Hog Cafe in Fort Smith wants you to know dine-in service is now open, recognizing all state and CDC guidelines. Takeout and delivery service remains available as well. Whole Hog Cafe Fort Smith is also, until further notice, open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. The Whole Hog Cafe on Borough Road also has a drive-thru for your convenience. Call Whole Hog Cafe on Phoenix Avenue or Borough Road, or order online at wholehogfortsmith.com for your award-winning Memphis-style barbecue and sides.
Green RV in Van Buren is having their last sale of the year. Despite COVID-19's best effort, we are still getting in new trailers in weekly, and they are marked down as soon as they hit the lot. Browse Green RV's selection of Forest River, Dutchman, Thor, and Coachman products and pick out the best fit for you. You can buy with ease knowing that your new purchase comes with free maintenance for life. Once you're ready to hibernate for the winter, bring your camper into us for deluxe winterization specials starting at just $99. Green RV will work on all makes and models, and don't forget that all their accessories are installed for free. The Breeden RV Center in Van Buren, your friends in the RV business.
When was
was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while or you haven't had the best of experience with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney in Family Dentistry. They take care of it all: crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. They even offer oral consciousness sedation available for your comfort. That's Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today, 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Light your homes for less with the help of Metters Lumber True Value. Right now, a 4-pack of GE 5-watt or 8-watt LED bulbs is only $9.99. The 5-watt bulbs are equivalent to 40-watt incandescent bulbs, and the 8-watt bulbs are equivalent to 60-watt incandescent bulbs. Choose from soft white or daylight. These light bulbs are rated for 15,000 hours. Hurry over for these bargains in the month and other lighting accessories while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value. Have you had someone back out of a contract and you don't know what to do? Or maybe you have a problem with your boss. It may be time to sit down with a lawyer and discuss your options. The attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners are ready to give advice on your next step. Kevin Hickey Law Partners are experienced in all types of lawsuits. If you have a dispute that may involve going to court, don't just hire any lawyer. Contact Kevin Hickey Law Partners. Give them a call at 479-434-2014 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out online at kevinhickeylaw.com.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
There it is. I can picture it. I can picture 10,000 7, 8 year, 9-year-old kids running through the baseball park. Got it bad, got it bad.
Let me see if I can bring it to my level, too. Matty will probably agree with me on this. Did you have the hardest time playing this thing on Guitar Hero? Do you remember this song on Guitar Hero?
Of course I do.
Oh, my God.
Impossible. Let's bring on Bill King, the king of college football talk. Bill, before we get into some college football here, we've been reminiscing a little bit about Eddie Van Halen. I'm a child of the 80s. Were you a Van Halen fan? Did this death of this guitar god hit you as hard as it hit me and some of our listeners?
I have been to 2 concerts in my life in the 70s as a kid growing up. Peter Frampton and Eric Clapton. Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Only two. And I won't go to another. But anyways, I'm getting to your question. I'm not avoiding it. I'm coming home. I think this is circa 78, so somebody can check my math here. From the concert, not stoned. I'm totally. I went to a private high school. I couldn't get up to it. It was a school night too. So anyway, driving home, I remember going through the park, Belmead Park, close to Vanderbilt, and I'm on the rock station, which back then was 103.3 in Nashville. And the first Van Halen song I ever heard was Jamie's Crying. That's the first, I can tell you, the first song, the first moment I heard Van Halen, and I thought, that's really different and that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great song.
You're like, yeah, that sounds different. That's true. You know what else sounds different, Bill? This is the first time you and me get to talk about an Arkansas win in the SEC. We've had you on for 2 years. It hadn't happened yet. So, simple question here. With a victory over Mississippi State, does this change any perception of Arkansas football outside of the borders of Arkansas?
So I'm coming home in the 70s from Eric Clapton, and I heard on the news Arkansas had their last win in the SEC. How about that, guys?
Hey,
40,
oh, wow.
40. No, I think I was impressed. No, I was very impressed. More stable along the lines of scrimmage than I anticipated. And you guys brought this up to me early when the hire was made. What do you think about the coordinators? And I probably underrated that a little bit. That's obviously, we all know Coach Odom, Barry Odom's a very good coordinator on defense. He's got a history of that, and Briles is a Briles. And regardless of what people think about the name, those are brilliant offensive minds. And I did not think they would go into Starkville and win that game. I was pleasantly surprised and happy for all the fans who've been suffering.
And we've been talking about this Auburn matchup on Saturday, and the more I read about Auburn and the issues they're having right now, and they can't figure out how they want to align the offensive line, and KJ Britt may not be in Saturday's game. Has Bo Nix really taken the step forward they're expecting? I wonder. I don't know if a week ago I would have given Arkansas a shot. Right now, I do. Do you think that Auburn needs to be put on notice after getting completely physically dominated by, admittedly, a really physical team, but now coming against an Arkansas team that did hold their own with Georgia, maybe even better than Auburn did?
I'm with you. I'm trying to be cautious here because I know you can open up the trap door and there's a big monster standing there waiting on you, right? But I think this game's more of a game than – now, I looked early, and the number was around 17, the spread. Is it still in that area?
Down
today?
To 14 or 13.5, depending on the house you're looking at.
Getting bet down. Okay, so the public is seeing it. Now, you don't necessarily want to be with the public when you're betting, necessarily, but I'm with you. I'm cautiously thinking this is a better game than somebody just taking the most recent 5-year block of history and applying it to Saturday.
Speaking to Bill King here on Halftime, Bill, let's jump around the SEC and maybe a little bit of outside the SEC. Just get your thoughts on some of the other teams. I think the matchup that I really took a lot from, and I boldly predicted that Alabama was going to shut out Texas A&M. That didn't happen, but Alabama utterly dominated Texas A&M, and I think now you're kind of having the same conversation, same questions being brought up, that Texas A&M was probably a little bit more overrated and overvalued than what we gave them credit for. What's your thoughts on Texas A&M right now, just kind of where they stand?
We'll see this Saturday. They get the Gators. I think they probably play well. Don't know if that's good enough to win, but I think Gators probably ought to plan on getting their best punch. They're at here's item number one, guys. They're at a come-to-Jesus moment with Kellen Mond. I mean, they've tons of years playing and tons of inconsistency. Runs hot and cold, and he is not playing all that well right now. And they got this kid, Haynes King, Texas kid too, who's got a lot of ability. At some point, they're going to have to try him. Now, obviously, Jimbo's got a very careful line to toe there because the quarterback is a very delicate part of your ecosystem, right, on your team. But at some point, either he plays to a winning level and helps you, and that's not happening right now consistently, or you've got to forget it. And remember, this is his – well, it doesn't have to be his last year because this is a freebie for everybody. He's been there a long time, though, guys. And that's the number one item. The other thing is they got hurt pretty bad with the schedule being SEC only, as we know. And they got a lot of young talent on that team. Hollywood Dumas is one of the young receiver who's really not getting any touches yet. They probably figured they'd have some of these young guys further along due to the prior schedule than they do right now. But, yes, we're approaching. Now, look, Jimbo's not in any trouble, but they're a very delicate team right now that could go either way, crash either way.
When you look at kind of the games, and particularly in the SEC, and that's what this next question I'll ask you. So Arkansas obviously have it at Auburn. You talked about A&M playing Florida this weekend. Mississippi State goes to Kentucky. LSU taking on Missouri. And I kind of just stage it this way because I think it's easily assumed, Alabama's the best team in the SEC West. Who do you think the second best team is? Because to me, it seems pretty wide open right now as far as who is that second best team. I feel like a lot of people might have said Texas A&M preseason. Now, obviously, not so much. Who would you say is probably the second best team in the SEC West?
Boy.
I'm going to jump in and I'm going to say I don't think there is a second best. I think there's a bunch of third and fourth best teams.
I mean, it could be LSU. Now, they came into Vanderbilt and dominated. I know we don't – at LSU we don't hold parades for that, but – I'd say personnel-wise, it's probably them. Whether the schedule allows that to be the truth, but there is no clear-cut number two like maybe we thought. Like you said, we thought maybe a few weeks prior.
I'm also kind of curious, too, when you look outside the SEC and just because, particularly here in Arkansas, we love to see Oklahoma and Texas struggle. I don't think we've ever really expected a year where both of them would really be struggling the way they do, with Texas losing to TCU and obviously Oklahoma falling to Kansas State and then to Iowa State. I'm just curious, what's going on with those two teams right now, and are you shocked by any of that?
Shocked with Oklahoma. Oklahoma, guys, has not been playing well on defense for a few years now. It's not a new item, but they've been so elite quarterback-wise most of the time and so extraordinary overall offensively, it didn't matter. As far as just getting into the playoffs or something. They could avoid all that. They could win that kind of game that they're losing now to Kansas State or Iowa State. They'd win that game 51-38 or whatever. Give up a bunch, score more, head to the next game. They're not that good on offense, comparatively speaking. They're good. They can put up points, but they're not elite good. The defense has been a problem since Bob Stoops ran off a very good coordinator to bring in his brother. In essence, ran him off. I mean, it was circumstantial to bring in his brother that had been fired out at Arizona, and since then they have been unstable on defense.
Last thing I want to touch on here, because you got a really interesting game on CBS on Saturday, and I want to call it the Cade Mays Bowl, because you get Tennessee taking Mays away from Georgia, getting him the waiver, and now he's allowed to play, and it's amazing. You know, when you think about this, Sam Pittman's debut as Arkansas's coach was against his former Georgia Bulldogs. It's the same thing for Cade Mays as he makes his first start on the Tennessee offensive line. I know Tennessee's got a great defense this year. Can they contend? Because people really have been talking about Georgia, Florida in the East. What about the Vols?
Their personnel is very close. Even though Florida's had their way in that game, I don't think there's much difference. Matter of fact, Tennessee's offensive line is better than Florida's. Are they a better overall team? Well, they haven't been beating them. But this is Tennessee's best, most stable team in a while. Very fundamentally sound. 4 of the 5 starters on the offensive line are 5-star recruits. And they're not freshmen anymore. Some of those are veterans like Trey Smith, who's a first-round pick at left guard. They're very physical there. I don't think Tennessee would switch their 2 running backs, Eric Gray and Ty Chandler, for anybody in the SEC. Eric Gray is a fantastic true sophomore who's just getting started. Receiving core is a little inconsistent. Jarrett Garantano, very inconsistent, as we know. And the defense is Jeremy Pruitt's defense. He's one of the best around when it comes to that. Their guys about a 14.5-point dog. They're going to, first of all, across the South, there's supposed to be bad weather because of the hurricane, even as far up to here and then over to Athens. Maybe inclement weather, guys, and maybe Georgia turns it over a couple times. If that's the case, Tennessee's got a fighting chance. If not, they probably lose 31-21.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned the storm, Hurricane Delta. You already had one game moved in the SEC. You got LSU and Mizzou switching over to Columbia. And I wonder if you think that will affect, and it should affect the Tigers some. It has to affect the way they prepare. They weren't traveling. Now they have to travel. I don't know if I give Mizzou much of a chance here, but then again, I don't know if I know too much about LSU to say one way or the other.
Quarterback that they put in the Tennessee game when Sean Robinson was ineffective, Connor Bazelak, who's a redshirt freshman, I believe, out of Dayton. He was good. Now, again, we need more data. We need to see more. He's good. He made lots of plays in the face of adversity. And if that is his game, that's more of a threat than we anticipated. It shouldn't matter where LSU plays Missouri. It shouldn't. Yeah. And, look, I know Stingley's just a cornerback. Having him back is a big deal. The quarterback, Miles Brennan, really settled down, played well in game number 2. I know the opponent wasn't much, but still you have to play well. And it shouldn't matter, guys. It shouldn't matter. If they play that thing in Council Bluffs, which is my favorite neutral site location, I don't think that game the outcome should really matter much.
Bill, we'll leave it there. Always appreciate your conversation, man. Thanks a
lot.
Thank you, Bill. Talk next week.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Bill King, if you're interested, you could hear him 6 to 9 every day on Nashville Sports Radio. We got one more segment to do here on halftime, and we wrap it up with Change My Mind. By the way, there is a very cool piece of news coming from the Northwest Arkansas Naturals AA baseball team just down the street here from where I'm sitting. They're going to be hosting, all things getting somewhat back to normal-ish, March 29th next year, an exhibition with the Kansas City Royals at Arvest Ballpark.
Wow.
Outstanding.
That'd be
Should
really
fun.
cool.
Those exhibition games against your Major League affiliate are always great. They're just so much fun. It's great to see that connection between the big league team and the minor league team, and with the way the minors are changing, to be able to cement that by bringing the big league team in, beautiful. Well done over there, Justin Cole and his staff. We'll come back. Cherry on the top, change my mind on this Wednesday.
Is your Arkansas home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a no-cost-to-you program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, their crews will install measures that can include attic insulation, LED light bulbs, weather stripping, advanced power strips, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, and much more. The services provided through this program are at no cost to you for qualifying homes. If you or someone you know could benefit from home weatherization improvements, call OG&E today at 800-272-9741. That's 800-272-9741.
Kubota and Gray Brothers have teamed up to bring you special pricing on all Kubota cab tractors to help you keep cool during your hay baling and brush hogging activities. And if you're looking at cleanup from the recent storms, try Kubota's skid steers and excavators with special pricing and low-term financing. Now's the time for a new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
In the mood for a top shelf night, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of their delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Garrison in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
For the month of October, Frank Pro Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frank Pro Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October. We also offer in-store no credit check financing, delivery, and service after the sale. At Frank Pro Furniture, we are family owned and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made in the USA products as possible. Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frank Pro Furniture, your made in the USA headquarters, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Frank Pro Furniture, best seats in the house.
Looking to upgrade your fleet or needing professional service to your existing fleet? Carco International of Fort Smith offers the latest trucks and equipment in the industry. With over 70 years in the trucking and equipment business, they have the experience to keep you on the road. Carco International offers professional service after the sale. Carco International Parts Department supplies all makes, parts, and gives expert service. Carco International is the answer. Leave it to the pros to keep you on the road. Carco International, located at 2721 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is David Owen with Ouachita Farms. We grow hemp in Central Arkansas and process it into full-spectrum CBD products. Ouachita Farms products are affordably priced and available online or conveniently located at nearly 200 stores across the state. All Ouachita Farms CBD products are tested at C-Pill Labs in Little Rock to ensure that you will always get what you expect. Find us online today and use this code at checkout.
Ouachita Farms! Go to ouachitafarms.com and use code WPS15 at checkout of your purchase.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that you are now able to get the repair process started on your schedule. With just a few clicks of your cell phone, you can send photos and your vehicle information directly to our shop. We will respond within 24 hours with a detailed estimate for repairs. It's that simple. We are here for you. Visit our website for all of the details. We offer complimentary pickup and drop-off as well, and extra steps are being taken to ensure your car is returned as good as new and completely sanitized.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hi, Phil Elson for CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Russellville and Fayetteville. I love a good burger, and I love piping hot fries. And the best in the state for both are at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, no doubt about it. Chuck shoulders, fresh ground daily, always fresh. The fries always hot. Hand-spun shakes, and at both of their locations in Russellville and Fayetteville, limited seating capacity is open now at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Oh, I just got to let that go for a moment, right?
Is that probably their best song, you think? Is that what when you hear Van Halen, or when you hear the name, is this what comes to mind?
Yeah, I think it is. It's simplistic, but it is. I mean, this defines shredding, I think.
I'm just trying to think of like those songs, like, and not necessarily just Van Halen, but everybody, like Panama. Ain't Talking About Love. Like, they've got that popular like 5-10 second intro where as soon as you hear the first note of that guitar, you know what song you're hearing. Like this song right here, if we went back and replayed it, you know exactly what it is just right off the bat.
Well, I also love the song that Bill King brought up there, Janie's Crying. Was that their first hit?
I hadn't heard that one in a while.
Running with the Devil, I think, was their first hit.
Running with the Devil was the first one we played during the, I think it was our podcast promo at the first part of the show.
Well, it's been a fun day to reminisce about the wonderful sounds of Eddie Van Halen. Just another rock and roll legend gone too soon.
Yeah.
So we can wrap the show up here with Change My Mind. And I know the one thing you wanted to get to here, SmackDown, was the idea that there is no guitar god ever quite like him, right?
Well, I'm curious too. I'll see if I can change your mind, or see if you can change my mind.
Did she just change my mind?
And nobody's going to change my mind about them.
Now, I don't care what you say.
Nothing can make me change my mind.
Bet I can make you change your mind.
If you know how I feel, why would you say that? Like, you put me in such an uncomfortable situation.
That is just so disrespectful for you to say something like that. Say it with your chest.
Change my mind.
I guess for me, it's just like, and I'm young, don't get me wrong, and I know there's a lot of legendary rock bands and legendary guitarists. I mean, you got Slash and all these other guys.
Better guitarist, Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen? Go.
I see, for me, it's Van Halen. That's just me. And I didn't grow up listening to Jimi Hendrix. I mean, the only thing I know about Jimi Hendrix was him doing the Woodstock National Anthem. That's pretty much it. And I'm 27 years old, fixed to be 28. Like, that's it. For me, I mean, just talk about what he did for classic rock. And then the crossover between him and Michael Jackson with Beat It, and you bringing up the fact that he didn't pay to have that done, or he didn't charge anything.
Well, I didn't realize that until I read
incredible
it this morning.
Did you know
I still hope it was wrong that I read that.
In Back to the Future, when Marty, sneaks into his dad's bedroom and he's Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan, the tape is Edward Van Halen, and it's
Van Halen,
and it's just he did a little just noise,
And maybe it's just
and
me.
I think was it in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Didn't they? One of their names was Edward Van Halen.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's just like this was the first band that really, like, I really started to love like classic rock and classic rock now, but rock back then. Lots of my friends love Van Halen. I don't know. For me, he's the GOAT. That's just me. Change my mind.
I really try to resist the idea of ranking the greatest this and the greatest that when somebody's dead, just died, or trying to put them on some sort of a Mount Rushmore. It's I'm not a list person. There's plenty of people that are. That's not me. I don't really want to rank them right now. I will say though, I don't think there would have been an Eddie Van Halen without a Jimi Hendrix. Like one kind of leads to the other, and then Van Halen's influence leads to more great, rock and roll
Hendrix was cut so
and,
short too,
Right. I mean, even much shorter than Eddie Van Halen was, by like 30 years.
Yeah. Got lots of text in here. Travis just texted in. I almost don't want to read his text because he made fun of wrestling. He says, can't forget about Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's another great one right there. Dennis Van Buren says, Dimebag Darrell Abbott of Pantera.
That was rough.
Well, I mean, look at the list. Like Rolling Stone has the list out, and they've got Eddie Van Halen at number 8, behind Chuck Berry, B.B. King, Jeff Beck. You're talking about like the most influential guitarists ever. Keith Richards, Clapton. They've got Jimi Hendrix as the top guitar player of all time. Again, I really want to resist the urge to try to say one was better than the other because I'm no musician. Yep. I just know I loved listening to them, and they all belong for me, in the pantheon of greatest ever guitar players because when you heard them. Like, what Jimmy Page's guitar sounds like. What Hendrix sounded like. What Keith Richards sounded like. What Jeff Beck sounded like, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You know
when you hear Van Halen.
When you hear Eddie Van Halen.
Absolutely.
And that, to me, is a mark of true greatness.
And also, it's pretty great, too, when the band is named after the guitarist, and then the lead singer is just, it's like, we'll just get, we'll replace him if.
I always feel bad for the other brother, because nobody remembers his name. It's always about Eddie.
What, Bill Van Halen?
Yeah, exactly.
Todd.
The guy with the gut. The guy with the gut.
I wanted to bring this up for another change of mind here real quick, too. Go ahead.
Shoot.
You do. Okay. We talked about this during the commercial. Did you guys see what Joey Chestnut did?
I watched the video. It was disgusting, but I watched the whole thing.
Is there anybody crazier than Joey Chestnut? So
it was the world's largest walking taco.
Walking taco. So if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you can YouTube it.
I think it came on YouTube over the weekend.
He ate a 12-pound walking taco in 38 minutes.
I don't advise going to watch this sort of stuff.
You could jump from the beginning to the end and you get the idea.
For context, 2 pounds of chips, 3 pounds of ground beef, 2 pounds of cheese, a pound of salsa, 6 pounds of I've said that wrong. I'm sorry. 2 pounds of cheese, a pound of salsa, 6+ avocados, onions and sour cream, and just to make it all come together, Joey's signature green hatch and jalapeno sauce.
That's what makes the difference right there.
I'm going to go throw up in the bathroom.
Can I make you throw up a little bit more? Apparently last year he guzzled, and this website says guzzled. I wouldn't say that. 82 street-style carnitas tacos in 8 minutes.
Goodness gracious.
How did he celebrate, Matty T? Beer, a belly rub, and a nap.
And a trip to the bathroom.
Joey Chestnut is a badass.
By having somebody siphon the food out of his gullet. That's the only way to celebrate. My change my mind today is that today is the anniversary of the most important trade in the history of professional sports.
Okay.
October 7th, 1969, the Cardinals and the Phillies executed a trade in which Byron Brown, Joe Herner, and Tim McCarver were traded to the Phillies for Dick Allen, Jerry Johnson, and Cookie Rojas. Now, there was another Cardinal that was involved in the trade who refused to go to Philadelphia. His name was Curt Flood. Flood refused to accept the trade. He eventually took baseball to court over the reserve clause, which bound as a player to the team that he played for essentially for his entire career. This case made it to the U.S. Supreme Court, where Flood ultimately lost. But this is the case. This is the trade where free agency was born from. Without this trade and without Curt Flood saying, I'm not going to adhere by this, you would not have the freedom of movement for employees in professional sports that are known as athletes. And you can dislike free agency for what it's done to sports, but it has also made it more American by allowing the employees to have some choice as to where they work. It's also where athletes began to make money that was really more about the value that they brought to the business than ever before. So you can't change my mind. October 7th, 1969, the most important trade in the history of sports was made. There will never be a trade made with that sort of importance ever again. There you go. And that's it for this Wednesday edition of Halftime. We've got a Thursday edition tomorrow, which involves our buddy Bob Holt and you and SmackDown and Matty T. And I'm Phil. Have your great rest of your day. Get up, get out, and get better.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in